Hello everyone, this is Autumn93, and this is the second part of Fairy Godmothers, House Elves, and Hobbits. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to revisit a few points that I made in the last video because I left a few things out, and I knew I would even though I took notes. I've missed a few things. There is such a thing as a brownie who has long blonde hair. And what I mean by long is that it goes down to his toes or to his knees. Uh, he is he is a little person, but still his hair is long for him. Um, and unlike his other brothers who have darker beards and darker hair and generally um, suntanned complexions, he is more refined than they seem to be. Um, he doesn't have many of the habits that they have as far as their manners. um, and also, unlike other brownies, he does not particularly like offerings of food. Yeah. Most of the time, brownies appreciate simple foods like bread. Um, if you make it yourself, it's important, I think, that you either get an organic, fresh variety of bread, or that you actually make it yourself, um, or fresh milk or cream, or honey and cream, or alcoholic beverages. But he does not want uh, food stuff from anybody, except in one situation. It seems that he he is a he's known to be a flirt. He likes to flirt with young women, and it seems that the way to kind of distract him if he's getting a little bit too playful is to offer him a jug or jar of milk, like a coffee jug of milk, and he will accept that and kind of take the hint from that and stop being so flirtatious, at least for a little while. Um, and in general, uh, brownies will come and visit your house and do some cleaning around your house and some upkeep for you. Um, they can move furniture around and reorganize things, and sometimes you might not appreciate that, and sometimes it's exactly what you wanted. So uh, you just you just need to be aware that they might not be thinking exactly what you're thinking when you want to reorganize your house. They might reorganize it in very interesting ways. um, yeah. Other than that, what did I want to say? I wanted to say something about the brownies. Now I'm drawing a blank again. Great. All right. I think I might have to come back to it. I also wanted to say something about um, the fairy godmother type of fair folk. Um, there's a thing, uh, a fair folk woman called a Silkie, not Selkie like from the sea, but a Silkie. She has not blonde, long flowing hair. She also has long flowing, what appear to be silken robes, and for a long time she was believed to be um, a ghost of one of the daughters of one of the more well-to-do families, um, because when the idea of the silky came into being, silk was very expensive and almost exclusive to the aristocracy, the upper class. So she was believed for a while to be a ghost of a daughter of one of the upper class lords, ladies. Um, so yeah, I don't know about that. I know that that's a possibility, but uh, a lot of the fair folk women have long, flowing hair and long, flowing robes. So I don't know about that. It's possible, but there are many, many other options. Um, so I wanted to get to mention her too because she works around the house and she looks what would be like a stereotypical tall, slender, long-haired, long flowing robe uh, fairy, like the blue fairy from Pinocchio comes to mind. Yeah. Um, Other than that, oh, I wanted to. Yeah, I think we can move on now and talk about some of the other fair folk. Um, the Domovoy or Domovir are Russian or Slavic, and I think that they are either the idea of a house god, which is kind of a Roman, ancient Roman idea of a house god that you have a particular deity that is the patron of your particular house. It's either that or it is an ancestral spirit. He always, well, he almost always looks like an old man with a long white beard, like that kind of trails onto the floor. Um, he tends to be kind of hunched over, and he just looks like an old man, kind of thin and bearded and wrinkled, and just he just looks ancient. Um, and he he has actually a lot in common with the Bantai or Bantig. Um, his disposition can be kind of grumpy, and he is known for grumbling around the house and muttering to himself, kind of like an old man does. It's not malicious. It's not um, angry particularly, but it's just kind of like a grumpy old man. um, Also, it's said that everyone, or at least everyone who is Russian or Slavic, has a Domovoy, that's singular, Domovoy, as part of their house, if they have a house. Yeah. And a lot of people tend to live in apartments these days, and there is a version of the Domovoy that is particular to apartments, but the attitude of this particular uh, apartment spirit uh, is a lot more chaotic, a lot more irritable, um, a lot more mischievous. And yes, he's got a long beard. Um, he can shapeshift. He generally can shapeshift into like a household pet. A cat or a dog tends to be the one of the two um, forms that he shapeshifts into, and he can also take on the form of the primary occupant of the house or the apartment. So, um, say if someone comes over to your house that you don't want to have around, that you don't want to have around, then he can take on your appearance. Sorry, good grief, hair in my eye. He can take on your appearance and tell that person to go away. And he seems to be very protective of the place and will warn of intruders, people, nosy people that you don't want to have around. He can scare away. um, and it's also said that he can play matchmaker for women in the house, or even for the men in the house, if but it's normally he takes a particular favoritism to the young ladies in the house, like a grandfather to a granddaughter. Um, take Thinks of her more endearingly. And I'm gonna refer to my notes now again because There's so much that's going on in my head. I'm sorry. Alright. Um, I know all this stuff. I really do. I just keep, it slips my mind while because I'm thinking ahead of myself and what else I want to say. Um, oh yes, the the spirit that is in apartments is called a bara, barabashi. That is Aurora. This is my puppy Aurora. Say hello. Oh, come here. She's scared of the camera. Oh, oh, oh. Here's Tessa. She's not scared. She is not scared of the camera. Mwah. Hi. Please don't lick my face. Please don't lick my fingers. Okay. Alright. I have two puppies here. Oh, they're so cute, but they're getting in the way a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to have to let them out. I think it's okay. I think they just wanted to say hi. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah. They play nasty tricks, the Barabashi, and when I say nasty, they can get like, violently nasty. So, I think it's a something of a commentary on the division between the other world and this world in a city setting. The the house spirits tend to like a quiet environment. I know the brownies do. I had a brownie visit me for a short period of time, even though I am a teetotaler and very bookish. So they do what they want. But I did have one come visit me for a little while, and he left pretty abruptly when I had other visitors come over, like, human visitors come over, and they were really, really loud. And I think I'll get into that story another time, but it ended that he lived in my basement for a little while, a corner of my basement. He came up out of my basement, opened the basement door, and quietly opened the door, acted all, and it just kind of opened. And then um, I had people talking all over in the house. He walks out of the basement and to the front door. Before he leaves the basement, he slams the basement door. Bam! And then he goes to the front door, opens the front door, and slams, bam, slams it shut. And he came back later, but he did not appreciate all the people in my house making all kinds of noise. He was like, seriously, this is not okay. So, um, but I'll talk more about him later. He was really fun to have around, and he comes and visits me periodically. And brownies, they don't tend to stay; they come and go. Um, but he did not leave completely, even though he got a little bit annoyed with my visitors. um, yeah. Let me see who else I got here. Oh, I've already been through these. Yep, yep, yep. I want to talk about the Missouri Monster because I'm from Missouri and I know this myth pretty well. Uh, Particularly in central Missouri, though I think he's been seen in other places. I think of him as a undomestic brownie, a wild brownie. Although when I say domestic, not the, the the brownies are domestic in that they will come to your house. They are not tame. They they have a wild streak to them that I don't think ever goes away. But the Missouri Monster, he's either a domesticated brownie that got like really, really ticked off and um, really ticked off and evicted from wherever he was living in whoever's home, or he's a wild brownie. And there are versions of wild brownies called, and I want to be able to say this correctly because my head is spinning. Um, Fenoderee, Fenoderee. Um, Let me read about them because I don't know much about them. They work with farmers. They're, oh, this is not the one I wanted. No. I'll get to them. Not the Fenoderee. Uh, the grogoch. The grogoch. Um, they're said to live in caves or in dark places behind big rocks. There are actually big slanted rocks that are called grogoch houses. They will come into people's human beings' houses, but they prefer to stay outside, and they are more uh, more wild than the house brownie. Um, let me see what else. Because I've never worked with these ever before, but the Missouri monster seems to be one of them. Um, let's see. My handwriting is terrible. Sorry. I have trouble reading my own writing. Okay. He's, yeah, large leaning stones, I said. Grogoch houses. Um, he likes offerings of a jar of cream or of milk, like the other brownies do. So if you want to go outside and offer the grogoch something, you might want to offer him some dairy cream or some milk. Um, he can become attached to individuals. He does not become attached or um, fond of particular families. He doesn't become part of a family line like the Bantai or the Banshee, but he may come and visit you. And that's pretty much what brownies do. They will come and go, and they may live in your house for months and months, and then they'll leave, and then they'll come back, and they do whatever they feel like doing. They're kind of just come in and go, come and go and come and go. Um, I'm so disorganized. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, they can choose a person that they like and will become helpful to you. uh, and if they do come in, they particularly like to work around the kitchen. Um, yeah, they like, and they will move things around. They will move tables. They will move chairs. Um, Not maliciously. They're just reorganizing your stuff. Um, and if you happen to be in the kitchen, you need to be careful if you know that one is in there, because he has a tendency of getting, really worked up in his business, whatever he's doing around your kitchen, and he will step on your toes. He will step on people's feet around the house. So you'll know he's there if you feel somebody stepping on your toes. Um, yeah. Okay, and the Fenoderee I wanted to talk about. Um, I wanted to talk about the Missouri Monster, but I think I'm going to leave a video just for him, because I know a lot about him. He's native to where I'm from, so I'll talk about him later. Um, the Fenoderee is tall, kind of thin, uh, he's said to be very ugly and a little bit um, not as intelligent as the average human being is, but he will work around a farm like the brownies do. He's very hardworking. He will shovel manure. He will work hay. He will do some of the heavier heavier lifting on a farm that the brownies won't necessarily do, but they can sometimes. But he's the one that does like the heavy work. And I wanted to bring him up because um, he's also just in the family of house spirits in general, and I just wanted to make note of him. Yeah. Yeah. And I think for my next video, it's going to be the hob, the ho the hob, the shoemaker elves. Who else is on my list? I've already been through the Domovoy. Um, oh, the Domovoy does not like mirrors and hates people who swear. So, you need to watch your mouth, and if you have any mirrors, you might want to, and you want to work with him, you might want to turn your mirrors around. He does not like to see himself in a mirror. I guess he doesn't really like his appearance in general. So yeah, and also I think that's it for now. Actually, yeah. I'm sorry I ramble so much. I thought I was prepared, but I guess I wasn't really. I just have so much that I want to say, and all kinds of I get ahead of myself in my own mind, and I'm thinking about other things, like I want to say this, and I want to say that, and what am I talking about right now? So, oh, also, Elaine McCoy has in her book A Witch's Guide to the Fairy Folk a reference to the Domovoy, and she says that he wears a blue belt, and I believe she said he wears red clothing, but I can't find any verification of that on any other sources, so I don't really know about that. And she also says that the brownies either wear, well, red or green clothing, which tends to be common among fair folk anyway, so that's probably accurate. Um, yeah, and I'm actually reading through that book right now. I'm almost finished with it, so I might do a review in the future. We'll see. I think some of it, actually, I'm pretty sure that some of it is not historically, culturally accurate, so I would be careful with it. But there's a lot of interesting information that I'd like to share with you pertaining to this book, and I'll do a review on it later. So until then, uh, actually until the next part, until part 3 of Fairy Godmothers, House Elves, and Hobbits, um, I'm going to say goodbye, and all stars shine on your path. And I'm going to shut this off.